What if the monster didn't chase you, but calmly told you how your life would end and smiled because it had already begun? Derry has a way of holding its breath. At night, the streets don't sleep, they listen. Water drips through rusted pipes. Wind moves through empty alleys like it knows where it's going. And somewhere beneath all of it, something ancient is awake again. Tonight, it isn't hunting. Tonight, it's waiting for Margaret. Her footsteps slow as she reaches the edge of the old sewer entrance. She didn't plan to come here. No one ever does. Derry pulls people where it wants them, quietly, patiently. The air feels heavy, like the town itself is watching her make a mistake it has seen many times before. Then comes the sounds, soft at first. A faint laugh. Not loud, not threatening. Almost playful. It echoes from the darkness below, wrapping around her thoughts. Margaret freezes. Her breath grows shallow. She tells herself it's nothing. Just her mind playing tricks. But deep down, she knows better. Derry never plays fair. A voice slips out of the dark, smooth and gentle, like an old friend who knows too much. It says her name, not loudly, not kindly, perfectly, as if it has been saying it for years, just waiting for the right moment. Margaret doesn't answer. She can't. Fear has closed her throat. The voice chuckles. "Oh, Margaret," it says, amused. "You always stop right here. Same place. Same fear." The words sink into her like cold water. How could it know that? How could it know her? She takes a step back, but the darkness feels closer now, pressing in. The laugh returns, clearer this time. A child's laugh. A clown's laugh. Pennywise is not rushing. He never does. He knows fear grows better when you give it time. "I'm not here to hurt you," the voice says softly. "Not tonight." A pause. Then, almost cheerfully, "I'm here to help you understand what comes next." Margaret's heart pounds as the truth settles in. This isn't an attack. This is a warning. Or maybe something worse. Because Pennywise doesn't guess. He doesn't threaten. He predicts, and in Derry the future is never kind. The silence stretches, thick and uncomfortable, like the air before a storm. Margaret wants to run, but her feet feel rooted to the ground. Fear has a strange way of doing that. It convinces you to stay and listen, even when every part of you screams to escape. The darkness below the sewer opening shifts, almost breathing, and then Pennywise speaks again. "You're wondering how I know you," he says calmly, as if reading from her thoughts. "You're thinking about turning around? You always do." His voice is smooth, almost friendly, but there's something sharp hiding underneath it. Something patient. Something hungry. Margaret whispers for him to stop, though the word barely leaves her mouth. Pennywise laughs softly, not mocking, amused. "Stop?" he repeats. "But we've only just started." He tells her things no one else should know. Small things. Harmless things. The crack in her bedroom wall she never fixed. The song she hums when she's alone. The fear she's had since she was a child, the one she never learned how to name. Each detail lands heavier than the last. Pennywise isn't shouting. He doesn't need to. He lets the truth do the work. "I know your past," he says, almost proudly. "And the past is very good at teaching the future." Margaret shakes her head, telling herself this is a trick. A lie, but Pennywise doesn't argue. He agrees with her. "Of course it's a trick," he says. "Everything is choices, hope, promises." He pauses, letting the words sink in. "That's the game, Margaret." He explains it slowly, like a lesson meant for a child. Derry doesn't break people all at once. It nudges them, pushes them just enough. One bad choice leads to another. One fear ignored becomes a habit. And before you know it, the town has shaped you into exactly what it wants. "You think you still get to choose," Pennywise says gently. "That's the best part." His laugh creeps back in, low and steady. "You'll wake up tomorrow believing nothing has changed. But it already has." Margaret feels it then, not pain, not terror, but something colder. The feeling of being understood too well. Pennywise isn't chasing her. He's guiding her, leading her down a path she can't see yet. And don't worry, he adds, almost kindly. I won't force you. A pause. You'll walk there all by yourself. The darkness seems to smile. Pennywise grows quiet, and that silence is worse than his laughter. It feels heavy, like something unseen has stepped closer. When he speaks again, his voice is slower, now careful, as if choosing each word to paint a picture inside Margaret's mind. Close your eyes, he says softly. You don't have to. But you will. And somehow, without meaning to, Margaret does. He begins to describe moments that haven't happened yet, but feel painfully real. He talks about a morning where the sun rises, but the warmth never reaches her. About faces she trusts slowly turning away. About standing in a room full of people and realizing no one truly sees her. His words slide into her thoughts, shaping images she can't push out. You won't scream, Pennywise continues. That's the funny part. You'll stay quiet. You always do. He tells her about nights filled with silence, broken only by regret. About a future where every choice feels smaller than the last, until fear becomes normal, comfortable, safe. Margaret tries to focus on what he isn't saying. No knives, no sudden death, no ending she can escape. Pennywise senses this and laughs, pleased. Oh, I don't see deaths, he explains. I see changes. He pauses. Endings are easy. Becoming is much better. He describes a moment where Margaret looks in the mirror and doesn't like what she sees, not because she's hurt, but because she's empty. A person shaped by Derry, molded by fear, living carefully so nothing ever breaks again. Pennywise's voice lowers. That's when I know you're mine. The vision shifts. He speaks of blood, but not in bursts, slow, quiet, forgotten. Of promises made and never kept. Of leaving town, but never truly escaping it. No matter how far she goes, Derry follows, stitched into her thoughts, whispering doubt into every hope. I don't predict the future, Pennywise says, almost bored. I help it grow. He explains that fear feeds fear, and once it takes root, it spreads on its own. He doesn't need to push. Margaret will do the work for him. Her chest tightens as she realizes the truth. This future isn't forced. It's built one small fear at a time. One moment of silence instead of courage. One step away instead of forward. And when it's done, Pennywise whispers, his smile clear in his voice, you'll thank me. Because monsters aren't born, Margaret. They're shaped. The darkness waits for her answer. The darkness pulls back, slowly, like it's done playing. The air feels lighter. The pressure on Margaret's chest fades just enough for her to breathe again. Pennywise's voice softens, losing its edge, sounding almost distant now. For a moment, she wonders if it was all in her head, fear echoing where nothing truly stood. She opens her eyes. Nothing moves. No laughter. No voice. Just the quiet drip of water and the cold stone beneath her feet. Her heart races as relief washes over her. He's gone? She tells herself that whatever happened down here is over. Another bad memory in a town full of them. Margaret turns away from the sewer and walks back toward the street. Each step feels heavier than the last, but she keeps going. The night seems normal again. Streetlights flicker. Houses stand still. Derry looks harmless, almost peaceful. She convinces herself that the future hasn't changed. That words are just words, then she notices it, a small thing. Easy to miss. Her hands are shaking, even though she isn't afraid anymore. Or at least she thinks she isn't. A strange calm has replaced the panic, not comfort, but something quieter, colder. She realizes she isn't running from what she heard. She's accepting it. A laugh drifts through the night, soft, familiar, right behind her. I told you, Pennywise whispers, close enough that she feels the sound rather than hears it. You'd walk away. He sounds pleased, proud. That's how it starts. Margaret spins around, but there's no one there. Just the empty street. The laugh fades, carried off by the wind, but the words stay behind, settling deep in her thoughts. She understands now. The prediction didn't begin in the sewer. It began the moment she chose silence over fear. The moment she chose to believe she was safe. Pennywise never needed to follow. Her. Derry will do the rest. Somewhere beneath the town, something smiles. Not because the future is certain, but because it's already moving. And Margaret, without knowing it, has taken her first step exactly where Pennywise wanted her to go. In Derry. Escape isn't dying. It's living long enough to become what the town needs next.